Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And I also have my PayPal email account in the description below. And please, please, please check out my newest channel called Just Music. We're not quite on the algorithm yet. It's been going strong for a little over 2 months now, 2 or 3 months. I think I have 47 subscribers. Need to get a lot more for it to get into the algorithm where it's actually searchable. So I will put a link to my newest Just Music show in the description below as well. Today we're going to be talking about and comparing Longmorns. Over here on my right, your left, is the Longmorn 18-year-old at 48%. Okay. And this was bottled on November 6th of 2022. So a 2022 release. I believe they've since discontinued this, which seems to be Longmorn's deal. They just constantly are discontinuing and reintroducing new things, so it's hard to keep track of it. And I'm going to be comparing it to the Longmorn 18 cask strength batch from 2023. So this was July 18th of 2023. And this cask strength comes in this batch here at 57.6% ABV. So I will be comparing and talking about these. They both say non-chill filtered, but neither one of them say natural color. So I have no idea if they're adding color. And then towards the end of the review, I will talk about, which I've previously reviewed, the Longmorn 16-year-old, which this is the second incarnation of it. They had one previous to this, which was discontinued, and then they had the 15-year-old, which is now discontinued. So again, that seems to be their forte. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Not deal, their forte. So, on my right, your left, again, this is the Longmorn 18, 48% ABV from 2022, and they call it double cask matured. And so both of these they're all ex-bourbon as far as I know. And so this Longmorn 18, it just says American oak barrels and hogsheads. But it doesn't tell you how long that these, what am I alluding to? I think that it's double matured in that it was finished in some kind of ex-bourbon cask for who knows how long. But if I had to guess, I'm saying this was 15 or 16 years old, and then for the last 2 or 3 years, they're throwing it into something else and calling it 18 years. I don't have any proof of that. It's just pure speculation on my part, just my personal opinion. But there's no information on here. This bottle, it also says in the front, batch bottle number L03-31223, if that helps out. But just my personal opinion, I don't think that these were matured for the full 18 years in casks and then married together. I think there's a little bit of cask play at play here. Again, just my personal opinion, and possibly over here too, same thing. It's 18 years, but it doesn't get into specifics on it. Again, it's ex-bourbon cask. We'll get into the specs when I read a little bit more about that. So already this one on my right, Longmorn 18, 48% is already discontinued, replaced by the batch cask strength of the 18. To kind of cut to the chase, I'm gonna fully review these, but this has been kind of eating at me. Check out my Longmorn 16 review. I really love this bottle, and this was, I believe, the second incarnation of the 16-year-old, and this one has long been discontinued, but 48%, and they do say in this one that it's a marriage of 3 different ex-bourbon cask types. Okay, I really like the 16-year-old. It's just pure elegance, something, just a beautiful, elegant whiskey that you just really take your time with. But both of these, compared to the 16, seem to have a bit more oomph and a bit more spirity to them. That's why I'm questioning whether I'm questioning the maturation process on both of these, but more on the 18. Okay, let's get into it. So price wise, they're both not cheap, but this Longmorn cask strength 18-year-old is ridiculously expensive. But I did get a fair price, all things considered, on it. But it's twice the price of the old 18, 48%. All right, Longmorn 18, 48%. On the nose, I'm getting Play-Doh. A little bit of a vegetal note, believe it or not. Thick vanilla cream. But it's also, it's a bit spirity, even at 48%. A little bit of nose prickle. And some cocoa. Maybe even a little floral perfume note in there. Very little, though, but. All right, on the palate. Sweet, salty, spice, a little bit of that chocolate orange. I think it's a German confection, a Switzerland confection. You see them around Christmas time, but they come in the orange foil, and it's the like dark chocolate covered marmalade chocolate. I'm getting a little bit of that. The finish it's not on the mid palate. It's sweet, but on the finish, it transitions to a dry astringency. Same over here. Definitely a long finish. And they talk, in their tasting notes, they talk about fruits, but I'm really challenged at getting the fruits off there. Maybe a little bit, but I couldn't like point my finger on any particular fruit. But maybe there is a slight fruitiness to it. But one more time. Yeah, it's nice. I definitely prefer this 16-year-old over that. And this 16-year-old that I bought a backup of it, was bottled. Let me see these packages here. Was bottled, yeah, June 24th, 2021. I really, I had an open bottle of this for years, and I just, it was my special occasion whiskey. So I have a real fondness for it. From my palate and my experience, the older 16 that I have here blows the doors off of this 18-year-old. And that's just me. Your mileage may vary. All right, now over to my left. You're right. Let's go for the big brother here. Um, blah blah blah. They have some verbiage on here. I'm not going to go with the tasting notes, but again, this was the annual cask strength single batch from 2023, 57.6% ABV, non-chill filter, but no mention of coloring. Actually, on this one here, I don't even know if it says non-chill filtered. I mean, I would assume it would be at cask strength. Yeah, it doesn't say though, but I can tell you one thing on this cask strength, man. Um, this has a lot of flock in it and a decent amount of sediment, nice haze in there. So I doubt like hell this has been. I think it's even been barely barrier filtered. But yeah, there's a decent amount of flock in here, sediment, which is what I like to see for a cask strength. The box reminds me of the 1920s. Oh, what the hell is that famous novel? It's tip of my tongue. They made a movie out of it as well. Very, very famous novel set in the 1920s, but probably written in the 30s or 40s. You know what the hell I'm talking about, but it's a very glamorous cardboard box. Maybe a little bit overkill. So bottle code again 2023/07/18. Yeah. All right. Now this one's oh my god, yeah. So the nose is just so robust. It's not only the big brother to this Longmorn 18 at 48%. It's the big brother with a lot more going on. So the nose, I'm getting burnt toffee, a lot of burnt toffee, a little bit of aniseed, butterscotch cream, and believe it or not, a little bit of celery. I know that's weird, but on the palate. This is really nice. Again, the aniseed licorice is there, butterscotch cream, a little bit of peach and apricot in this, where I really wasn't getting that over here. Also has some I'm going to call it bourbon honey cream. Definitely some honey cream in there. So again, same thing as the regular 18 on the palate. It's got a sweetness, but the finish is very long. This is very long as well. Very long, but it turns into an astringent bitterness at the very, very end. One more time on the palate. Yeah, everything I said there. The butterscotch, aniseed, licorice, peaches, apricots, bourbon honey cream, long finish, bitter, astringent finish, long finish. All right, so score-wise, I'm gonna give two sets of scores. So this Longmorn 18 to my right, which is the 48%, which has been discontinued, I'm going to give that. I've been playing around with this for several weeks now, just kind of nipping away at it. On the dram face scale, This is where scores are so convoluted. So on the dram face scale, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I think it's good. And take that with a caveat that I am comparing it to the cask strength over here. If I was just reviewing this without any other comparison, maybe it'd be close to a 7, which is very good. But I'm gonna hear me out, because then I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it. But a 6 out of 10, good. And this Longmorn 18 cask strength, it's at least a 7, which is very good, bordering on an 8. But I'm going to stick with a 7 for the dram face scale. Now, let me convert those to the 80 out of, 1 to 100 scale, right? Which most people use 80 to 100. So I would score on that regard, this Longmorn 18, I'd probably give it an 85 out of 100. And this Longmorn cask strength, probably an 88, maybe an 89. And that's because I've been spoiled with this Longmorn 16, which is just such a beautiful, elegant experience. I have not tried the 16-year-old prior to this, nor have I tried the old 15-year-old. And I don't remember what I scored this Longmorn 16-year-old, which again, 2021. I would give this an 88 or 89, pushing towards very close to a 90. That's how much I enjoyed this bottle. Yeah, I'll say an 88 or 89. 89 or a 90 on the 16-year-old. So now that I've experienced 3 of these so far, if I ever found a backup of the 16-year-old for a very reasonable price, which I know I'm not going to, I would buy a backup. But both of these 18s, I'm not disappointed that I bought them at all. However, I won't be seeking replacements for them. And I do have yet another Longmorn, which I have not opened up. This is a Gordon and MacPhail 15-year-old, bottled at 46%, distilled in 2008, and then you add 15 years and whatever the hell that is. And I'm very curious about this, but I'm not prepared to open it up yet. But that will be interesting as a comparison. And color-wise, I don't think Gordon MacPhail adds coloring, but looking quickly, I don't see any. I don't even think this bottle even says anything about chill filtering on this. Gordon MacPhail. Real quick. Yeah, there's no mention on this whether it's non-chill filtered or coloring. But the colors are kind of sort of similar-ish. I mean, they are different colors. They all vary in darkness, but they're kind of similar. So at some point I will be cracking that open, but I have too many open bottles right now. That's my story, folks. I'm sticking with it. I hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you got something out of it. Yeah, hats off to you all, and take care, folks.